Hey everybody, how's it going? Before we get into today's video, I want to ask to see if you're subscribed real quick. If you're not, it's free and it will let you know whenever we post new videos. Without further ado, why am I even doing this anyways? I could be anywhere else right now. I could be covering a shift at Jucky's. I could be chilling by the old bridge enjoying a vape. I could be at my friend's house playing games. Yeah, he's cool like that. I could be doing anything but attending this boring-ass school with these boring-ass teachers, learning boring-ass nothing important. Who needs to know the exact atomic weight of hydrogen? A scientist? Sure, I ain't a scientist. I ain't a historian. I ain't none of whatever the hell these teachers think I am or can be. I don't need to know any of this garbage. It won't keep me fed. Won't pay my mom's medication. Won't pay the bills for the house. And given the actual research I've done, it doesn't even land you a job, either. My shifts at Jucky's are worth more to employers than a college degree, let alone a high school diploma. It's pointless. It's worthless garbage that society wants to shove down my throat because they did it, and their parents did it, and their parents before them. I had to suffer, so you have to, too, bullshit. Maybe I actually wouldn't skip school so much if it was actually useful. At least not boring. Spirits, why did it have to be me? I decided to distract myself while the teacher drones on by looking at outfits on r/goth. I don't exactly need any more ideas. I've got a wardrobe already, but I need something to keep myself sane. Speaking of outfits, since I need to distract myself today, I decided to go slightly less punk than usual and more goth. Found a really nice scale paint that some human made that is supposedly the darkest black ever conceived. And it really lives up to the name. It's toxic to human skin, but my species scales, and it's just fine. Sticks around a long time, too, even through multiple showers. But if I really need it off, I can use a paint thinner. I went with some cool ancient culture designs from some place on Terra called Europe. Specifically, the culture humans called the Celts. They all fought naked. Well, my species doesn't wear the skin of other animals or woven plants. I thought it was a good fit. Not to mention that my people apparently look like something the humans call dragons, except for the whole being upright on two legs. So, I spent the better part of my morning painting these cool lines all over myself, and the other parts of my morning being smug as I got an earful from the monitor at the school gate. Yeah, but nothing came of it. The school wants me attending, and they know I'm already working, so they know damn well they can't threaten me with suspension or expulsion. Oh no, I don't have to go to school anymore? Whatever shall I do? Make money, I guess. Fucking. Suddenly I'm snapped back to reality by Mr. Thin Skin himself. Ms. Jorg, would you please put your phone away and pay attention? At least when I ask you a question. His name isn't actually Thin Skin, but that's what he is. Him and most everyone else in the galaxy. Varg and humans are the only species that actually know what it's like to struggle. Or at least knew, I guess. My deadbeat dad used to tell me that kids these days didn't know a damn thing about true battle. As if he could understand when he's off being a play newt for other clans while I'm stuck here keeping Mom breathing. As if he could ever understand my struggle. Pfft, poser. The teacher man gave me the look, you know the one. Part frustration, part disappointment, part pity. I hate him for it. He thinks he knows me, him and his stupid tie and stupid glasses. Human fashion is really all over the place, but at least I know which parts of it are actually cool and good-looking. This guy went with the most plain, boring, drab outfit I could ever possibly imagine, and he wears it literally every day. Perfect to complement his thin, gray skin and featureless eyes. Miss Jorg, he insists. Spirits save me. I stand up, if only to avoid holding up the class. Mr. Full will keep us locked in here if he has to get me to answer a question. I didn't care to spend any more time here than I absolutely have to. Yeah, what's your question, Mr. Full? Can you tell me the definition of venom? He asks, turning to begin writing on the board. I respond venomously. You mean besides society and this school? Or parents? Yeah, I know it. A poisonous substance secreted by animals and typically injected into prey or aggressors by biting or stinging. As I say the words, the actual definition, that is, he doesn't even dignify my snark with a response. He writes it down on the board. I sit back down, pretending not to hear the hushed whispers of other students. How is she so smart? She skips almost every day. It's so unfair. There goes Hooky Savant again. Idiots. There's nothing you can learn from this place in years that you couldn't learn in a handful of hours from a decent search on the net. Take past the propaganda, advertisements, and dumbass AI fake bullshit, and you actually find useful information on just about anything. Venoms, in particular, are cool, and therefore useful to me. I might need them if Dad starts coming home drunk again. Not that it'll actually kill him, as much of an asshole as he is. He's still a royal guard. Got his own personal clan with Mom, had me, then proceeded to prioritize work over his own clan, leaving me to fend for her and myself while he blows all the money on drugs, parties, and political gifts so he can keep living his high life at the court. All while I wallow away, barely scraping by. Only reason I haven't ditched school completely is because he needs to keep up an image badly enough to threaten me over it. Bastard. Yes, Miss York, that's correct. Mr. Full confirms, with the same tone of disappointment he usually has towards me. A venom is often secreted as a weapon, and typically requires some kind of injury, which means it's usually only effective if applied intravenously, where a poison is anything that is toxic or harmful, whether ingested or merely touched, animal or otherwise. It can be intravenous too, hence the common confusion. I actually pay attention this time. Sort of. Half, maybe. Only because this is the one subject that I think is actually worth listening to. Though I doubt he'll say anything I haven't already read. He continues. Now, in general, this subject isn't very well researched. Idiot, of course it is. The humans have done tons of research on it. At least, not its effects on non-human species. The humans themselves, of course, live on the most toxic planet in the galaxy and have done extensive research in this regard. But in the context of most species in the galaxy, that research isn't very applicable. Because humans evolved on their own world and are, as a result, shockingly resilient against most organic varieties of toxic substances. Only potent chemical toxins like acid or heavy metals, or the deadliest organic substances in the galaxy such as neurotoxins or lethal pathogens, can truly threaten a human's life. Oh? I didn't read that. I knew that Terra was the most toxic planet in the galaxy, but what did he mean their research isn't applicable? And since humanity doesn't make a habit out of using live test subjects even of themselves, let alone other species, the exact effects of most toxins on most species are largely unknown, save for the fact that nearly all of them are far, far more severe on any one of us than it would be for a human. The common exception are recreational drugs or medications, which of course are extensively tested for all species. And one thing we can say for certain is that humans often require anywhere from 2 to 20 times higher dosages for most medications to function. Varg, by contrast, are known to be particularly sensitive to most toxic substances, primarily because their first line of defense against toxins is their scales, to simply not be poisoned in the first place. Again, of course, accepting things like recreational drugs, the Varg are in fact just as resilient against ingested toxins as humans are, but only the ingested ones. Now that's interesting. Research papers humans wrote didn't mention this. Probably because they wanted to keep it a secret. Tricky humans, hiding their weapons against the galaxy. Making sure that the Galnet doesn't know that they're so armed. But now I do. Spirits, damn it, because I came to class today. But that does mean the small amount of poison I put on the handle of that Snargleblast bottle in the fridge might actually kill him? Oh, shit. He was supposed to come home today. That's the real reason I decided not to skip. Mom's in the hospital for a regular visit, and not because she's scheduled for regular visits, but because every day is a coin flip, and 2 days ago, she got in a bad way, and I'm here. Which means he'd have no one to vent his frustration on. Better he destroyed parts of the house than either of us. And that also means that there's no one there but him. It was a simple trap I set up and used his connections to discreetly acquire a special type of very small bug from Earth. It's called an ant, one small enough to fit under Varg's scales. So I set up a farm at home, and may or may not have slipped a few into a thin piece of paper and wrapped it around the handle of the bottle, just so anyone grabbing it would get a handful of them. They're called fire ants, apparently because a bite makes you feel like you're on fire. I just thought it would be a funny way to get payback. I even set up a camera in the kitchen to see his reaction. Caught somewhere between concern and curiosity, I opened the stream to that camera on my phone. Still listening to the teacher, since it seems today's lecture might actually be useful. Mr. Full makes space on the holoboard and starts writing down a list as I watch my hidden camera, apparently just in time to see Dad home, merrily opening the fridge and grabbing a bottle. I have to stifle a laugh as I watch the almost immediate reaction. You get what's coming to you, asshole, and now you come home to pain. Common side effects for most toxins, when accounting for the dramatic increase in severity, will include pain. I watch as he throws the bottle to the ground and starts trying to crush and pat away the ants. The camera doesn't have audio, but I can see him yelling. Dizziness or a headache? He stumbles, putting one hand on the counter, right next to my ant farm. He sees it, realizes what I did, and slams it with a fist. Bad idea. Now he's covered in them. Nausea? He's rolling on the ground now, losing lunch. Diarrhea. Ooh. Not looking forward to cleaning that up. Swelling. I can see that one of his eyes are practically shut. He looks like a balloon. Difficulty breathing. Oh, that one's actually pretty bad. Yeah, he had a hand on his throat. He's flailing around now. Gonna have to stay away from home after school a while. And if left untreated, death. Oh, shit, that's not good. Very, very, very not good. I watch in horror as his flailing slows. Even if I called now, it might already be too late. The camera feed is a 2-minute delay. Fuck, that's not good. Fuck. Not because it's a crime to kill, or at least in most parts of the galaxy. In fact, on Varg specifically, it's only a crime if you kill dishonorably, which means without a formal duel, or when not first aggressed. Technically speaking, Dad has aggressed both me and my mother on several occasions. I actually kept recordings as proof for when the day came that I was ready to face him. But I didn't think it would happen like this. I didn't want it to be like this. I wanted to be there. I wanted to do it myself. Although, I guess in a way I did. The real problem now is the law for what happens when a royal guard is slain. Specifically, what happens is that his slayer becomes their replacement, so long as it was an honorable kill by someone who's not an enemy of the throne. And I have proof that he started it, and if I don't present that, then I dishonorably assassinated my own father on accident. The teacher must have seen the shock on my face because he calls on me again. Miss Jorg, finally taking an interest, I see. Is this information really so shocking to you? I thought you didn't share in the typical Varg ideal of invulnerability. Finally convinced that school's worth attending? Smug bastard. I stand, almost cracking the wood of my chair. Frankly, Mr. Full, shut up. I have to go. Now. Something big just came up. He is not having any of it. Miss Jorg! You may be Varg, but in this place I am the authority. But I ignore him, pushing past and actually breaking down the door with a full-bodied kick in my rush to get out of there before the real authorities figure out what happened and show up. Every royal guard has a heart monitor, and the second he draws his last breath, they will know, and they will investigate immediately since he didn't have any duels scheduled, and his image is one of honor, and not a deadbeat prick that beats his own blood. I pass by several people on my way. I barely even acknowledge their looks or glances. Few of the school's guards try to stop me, but I give them my look and then turn away. I've beaten their asses a handful of times, and they know that they can't stop me if I really don't want to be stopped. I'm not the daughter of a royal guard for nothing. Dad didn't train me a day, but he didn't need to. I trained myself, with the hopes of one day beating him in a more traditional fashion. But right now I need to get there so I can stop whatever authorities go to investigate from getting in the house and getting themselves caught in the swarm of fire ants that are loose in it. Oh, did you think I was concerned about my father's death? Hardly. I'm concerned that it'll go to several dishonorable kills if I'm not there to warn people away and start fumigating the house. When I got the ants, I spent a couple of months secretly modifying the security shutters to be airtight so I could kill anything in the house with a press of the button if I needed to. For the ants, of course. I get there hours before the investigators do. By the time they've arrived, I've already activated the shutters and turned on the air pump. The inside hit vacuum a while ago, and the sensors I put in aren't detecting any more life signs. I ruined some of the food, but that's a small price to pay for ensuring this goes smoothly. How interesting, the interrogator said. I'm not sure of their identity. Interrogators always wear a special garment that hides their true self and disguises their voice. Every interrogator is a faceless wall of fear, at least to the guilty. And in this case, I knew I had no guilt to show.
So, you claim your clan patriarch, your direct father, would frequently aggress you and your mother dishonorably, and that you have only now responded to his dishonor by killing him. Why not plead to a higher authority? Why wait this long?
The interrogator pressed, but I knew his tricks. I've been practicing for this moment since I first decided that I would kill my father. Though it was earlier than I was expecting. I claim nothing. I've already submitted video and audio evidence of my father's dishonor and my honorable retaliation. I must remain adamant and consistent. I also have to fully enunciate my words. I pick up a habit of ignoring certain sounds and syllables from my human friends on the Galnet. One I cannot risk falling into before this Varg. Any changes in my story will smell of deceit, even if they're made by accident. He retorts with a not unreasonable perspective.
Honorable retaliation, you say? You weren't even there. He died to small insects. Where's the honor in such a kill?
But I know the perfect response. One that has been tried and true in ages past. Insects that I placed there, knowing that he would encounter them. It was by his action that I and Mother were suffered the dishonor of an attack unwarranted. It is by my hand that his demise was wrought. That is all that matters. Unless you would claim that the commander of an army holds no honor for having been at the war table rather than the battlefield. Or that the emperor would hold none for sitting upon the throne as he commands his legions. I can't see it, but I detect the hints of a wry smile from beneath his veil.
So, you are as witty as the rumors say.
Rumors? I'd understand if there were rumors about my being a delinquent. Rumors my father rallied against, no doubt. Not because he cares for me, but because of how badly it affects, or rather, affected his image. But I can't respond to his comment. I answer questions. Idle discussion is not appropriate in this situation and would be viewed as a sign of immaturity, and thus a disqualification from ascension to Royal Guard. Of course I want his position. Just because my father was one doesn't mean that the position itself is befitting only of cowards and bastards. I will be a better guard than he could ever hope to. And now is the only opportunity I'll ever have. And I will put the money toward our mother's treatment, and with it, recovery is possible. High school's worthless anyways, no matter what the humans say. The interrogator stands. It is already finished so quickly?
That will be all then, Matriarch Jorg. You're dismissed.
He gathers some papers as he makes to leave the room. But I stand myself, doing my best to keep my frustration under control. What? What do you mean all? I slew a royal guard in honorable self-defense. Surely you are as aware of the law as I am. He turns to me.
And surely you are aware, Matriarch Jorg, of your own streak of disobedience. You regularly ignore the commandments of authority. You ditch school, you break laws, and illegally imported toxic animals from Earth. Did you truly believe your actions came with no consequence? That you had been somehow subverting the system? No. Consider yourself lucky that you are not being punished for your usage of an illegal weapon in an honor killing. It is the greatest mercy I can grant in light of your father's dishonor. In any case, none can be royal guard who cannot be trusted to heed the commands of the Emperor. You are dismissed. His words echo finality and truth. He's right. I don't know why I was expecting to be given such a duty-ridden role when I myself regularly shirk even the most basic of responsibilities. I kick myself. I kick myself for having been so foolish. But at least I'm free of him. At least we are free of him. My clan, such as it is with just myself and Mother, will receive Father's honorable death pension. Should hold us for a while. But if I'm to continue paying for her medication, I will need some other path in life. It's time I do, some thinking. The interrogator leaves the room first, as honor etiquette dictates. But before I can begin to leave myself, another Varg meets him at the door. The interrogator nods to him, as if confirming some kind of secret question, then passes and walks away. The other Varg that enters also wears a veil, but not that of an interrogator. Rather, it is that of royalty. Immediately, I must bow my head.
kneeling as I do so to present the soft, reversed scales at the nape of my neck. Our most vulnerable weak point, and that which we must show to express respect, trust, and deference. An ancient greeting, used only when met by royalty, by those of the Varg bloodline or their most trusted subordinates.
Stand yourself, Matriarch Yorg. Your honor is recognized. Now, sit with me.
He speaks. His voice is not disguised, but in truth, I've not seen enough royal broadcasts to tell if he's true royalty or just a subordinate. Though he is to be given respect either way. I do as he commands. He begins speaking, and I listen with more rapt attention than I have listened to anything in my entire life.
We are not about to have a conversation. In fact, I am not in this room.
You have already left, departing for your freshly fumigated home to enjoy the spoils of your victory. The honorable death pension has already been delivered, and as a token of sincerity from the royal guard themselves, in forgiveness of their oversight of your father's actions, your mother's treatment has been paid for in full. She will receive the operation she requires, and the doctors have already assured a full recovery. I am reeling from shock, but I can't allow it to show on my face, in my posture, or even in my own thoughts. I must control myself. For once in my life, I must be under absolute control. I am sure this comes as something of a surprise, but it is only right. You see, Matriarch Yorg, I have been watching you, paying very close attention. At first, you were little more than a name on a list of figures to keep tabs on. The daughter of a royal guard, and a delinquent. Your searches in the gown that frequently touched upon intriguing topics. Very intriguing. Your actions and your situation, though regrettable, could not be ameliorated so easily. Thankfully, you took matters into your own hands and proved your worth. He continues on, fully in control of the entire situation and so keenly aware of my true self despite my attempts to stay calm. But what does he mean by proved your worth? He leans in, his arms bending the table under his technologically enhanced strength, creaking with the low thrumming moan of a space vessel contorting from thermal expansion and contraction. His voice is of a similar timbre, and I cannot truthfully say that I had the purest of thoughts about it.
I need you, Matriarch Yorg. To be more specific, the Varg Empire needs you. Mr. Full was not lying. The subjects of toxins is ill-researched. So much so that you, with little more than your skill in perusing ancient articles of text, are currently the most well-informed on the subject of anyone in the Empire, save a handful of scientists. Scientists who lack the proper mindset. Do you understand me?
He pauses. I'm clearly meant to respond. I think I might be, but could you be clear just to assuage my uncertainties? He leans back now, the table creaking again as it tries and fails to return to its former shape.
I'm saying, Matriarch, that exactly as you so boldly spoke to the interrogator earlier, not all honor is found upon the field of battle. There are other ways to serve. Ways that the public would not look favorably on, for their ignorance, of course. Sometimes a warrior's true place is in the shadows. I am being made an offer. He's offering me a position as a shadow. Shadows are mythological. As the name suggests, they're often seen as little more than a vague impression. People rumor about them, think they exist, but there's never any proof. No one truly knows. But they are feared enough that people act as if they do anyways, just in case. A shadow is a trained killing machine, a warrior of unmatched skill and prowess. Should it not be another? Should it not be one who's been trained from birth? The interrogator just mentioned my disqualification from Royal Guard. Times are changing, Matriarch. Humanity poses a genuine threat, one that our empire has not faced since Varg I's repulsion of the conquering and founding of the empire. Even their most small and pathetic of creatures is dangerous enough to threaten our greatest warriors, as you have so directly shown. We need not just a defense against these toxins, but a way to turn them to our use. While I do not believe that true war will break, it is a possibility that cannot be ignored. A human associate of mine once told me, to maintain peace, you must be prepared for war. A very apt way of putting it.
He reaches under his shawl, as if to stroke his own chin in thought before continuing.
Humans are highly resistant to toxins, but not invulnerable. The best way to catch a foe off guard is to defeat them with what they believe to be their greatest strength, for it is there that they shall expend the least effort in defense. As a daughter of a royal guard, your potential is assured. You will receive training, but it is your specialty that I require. You will receive all the resources you need to become more versed in it than even the most diligent of humans. You will live amongst and besides them. Where better to learn of a hunter's prey than by observing the nest?
This is my chance. This is it. This is how I escape. This is how I save Mother. This is how I save my clan. I open my mouth.
But he shushes me. Shh. Say nothing. If you are willing to become my shadow, then all you need to do is attend school tomorrow. Ditch, and I give you a special pardon that allows you to forego the legal education requirement and immediately enter the workforce properly. Your path will be your own to choose. Attend, and you will find that a special transfer request has been made for you, and you will be sent home early to pack your bags, so that you may begin attending the most prestigious academy in the galaxy. Newly founded and already hailed as the single greatest institution of education ever conceived.
Oh, spirits, he means...
The Council Institute. He speaks with appropriate grandiosity. The place of higher education, fashioned after the universities of Terra, where the brightest youths of all species gather to learn from the greatest minds the galaxy has ever seen. You will be among the first Varg to attend, alongside the sons of the princes and several other of the retainer clans, representing your own clan as its matriarch, with a singular mission. He stands and speaks with an amused tone. Become friends with the humans there. Get close to them and study your specialty. Toxicology, they call it. Learn from the best, so that when I call upon you, you may answer with a new form of weaponry. Farewell for now, Matriarch Yorg. When next we meet, you will be worthy of being my shadow.
I sit in stunned silence as he leaves the room. His presence has left an indelible mark upon my soul, as it did upon that poor table.
First day of class at the Council Institute. The greatest academy ever founded. Already sporting the most prestigious professors from all over the galaxy and enrolling the best and brightest students from schools of every species on the Council. It starts at the junior level of high school, at least by the standards of how my school's back on Earth. So Terra is the official name now. The UN decided that it rang better, I guess. That doesn't matter. Anyone can apply. Although it is quite expensive if you don't pass the tests for scholarship. And even if you pay the price, you still can't get in without an incredible academic record. I'm sure that the rest of my time in school will be spent surrounded by intelligent minds worth talking to. I cannot contain my excitement at the prospect of making new friends that truly understand. Human, the tall, brutish female Varg says as she pins me by an arm to a wall in an empty hallway. She's tall, covered in white scales painted with strangely Celtic-looking black paint. Is that Vantablack? She has very pronounced eyes, thanks to that, and a number of very invasive-looking piercings. Although she's pinned me to the wall, she didn't actually do it hard enough to hurt.
From now on, you and I are friends. Got it?
She commands. She wants... Want to be friends? Is this how Varg make friends? I have no idea. I mean, she's a bit, aggressive, but she technically hasn't hurt me, and I did want to make friends. But I don't know. I'll ask just in case. Are you sure? I don't think this is how friends... I begin stammering a bit from nervousness. But the other hand slams into the wall.
Shut up. Now that we're friends, tell me where the biology department is. The layout of this place is confusing and I'm going to be late for class. Specifically, I need room 12B.
12B? Oh, that's toxicology with Professor Koch? That's my next class. Ah, dear. I answer before she decides to apply any more pressure, raising my hand to correct the position of my glasses before the lens warping makes me dizzy. Okay, that's toxicology with Professor Koch, right? I happen to have that class as well. I guess you can, follow me there? Good. she barks before dropping the pin and letting me go. Tentatively, I begin to walk, and she does, in fact, follow. So much for making like-minded friends.